So here's the deal. Over the last few weeks, I've been posting some things on Facebook. I've been doing a lot more Facebook Lives, but I've also posted a few things on Facebook that, one, I knew would definitely be controversial. Two, I didn't expect it to be as controversial. One was about Trump and my complete disdain and dislike for the guy, which sparked one of the busiest thread comments on my Facebook timeline I've ever had, and ultimately makes me think that actually, based on people's reaction in the US that were supporting Trump, the guy stands a very good chance of being re-elected again next term, which scares the crap out of me. But that was one thing. The other one was a post about a woman that got sent to prison for having sex with an underage kid at her school. And I simply, the man part of me came out and I said, why didn't I have teachers that looked like that when I was that age? I didn't say any more than that, but it sparked a whole big conversation on my Facebook timeline about the consent, and people saying to me that, well, it started off with other people saying it, and so you think certain child rape is right and right. I'm like, come on, let's this, what started out to be a bit of a joke, it perhaps shouldn't have been. I was simply commenting on how stunning this woman looked, and I had never had any teachers look like that when I was that age, and it sparked a whole other ball game and went down a whole other road that I never thought it would. For not 1 minute am I condoning underage sex, underage rape, any rape of any kind. Rape is abhorrent, and anybody that is guilty of raping someone should be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law, of course. But then the issue of consent came into it, and you know, a friend of mine actually said, well, who disagreed with me heavily, he said, so you think it's okay for certain underage rapes to happen? And ultimately, we're talking about statutory rape here, and I gave a demonstration of perhaps a case that I shouldn't have done on a TV show called Californication. I know it's fictional, but actually in certain cases it can happen in real life. And I said, you know, if a 16-year-old girl, the guy doesn't know 16, comes onto him and has sex with him, and admits that she did, and there was no coercion and it was all consensual, should that guy be sent to prison? So I digress a little bit. But what it's done is it's ultimately probably those two comments, those two posts, have ultimately probably lost me some friends. But the harsh reality is I don't particularly care. I don't want to fall out with people in any way, shape or form. But the idea of being vanilla, and I'm far from a vanilla character with my past and everything, and I have my fair share of haters than I would care to have for various reasons. But the reality is as long as you're not deliberately aiming to offend people and hurt people, you should speak your mind. Because being vanilla, especially in business, is going to get you nowhere. I personally think being vanilla in any shape or form of life is getting you anywhere. I think it's completely boring to be a vanilla character that sits on the fence all the time and doesn't have an opinion about particular things, or if they do, doesn't express them. It's getting you nowhere, and I think we've also lost the art or the ability to be able to disagree with each other without falling out. I've seen that over the last year or two. Maybe it's Brexit, maybe it's Trump, maybe it's whatever it may be. But I see a lot of people now disagreeing on stuff and falling out about it, and I don't get it. One of my best friends and her and I have had some pretty good debates in the past about things we disagree on, but at the end of the night, it's always exactly that. It's been a debate, and there's no falling out nature of it. And I think the fact that if somebody has a problem that somebody disagrees with them, that they will unfriend them or fall out with them, well, that probably says more about them than you, and I wouldn't worry about it. And I think polarizing people's opinions, certainly from a business point of view, doesn't hurt at all. I had a conversation with this a couple of days ago with my friend Brad Goss. Brad, incidentally, completely disagrees on my stance on the teacher issue that I talked about earlier. He completely disagrees, which is his right too. But it doesn't mean we've fallen out. It means we have a different opinion. And And he was saying, you know, that I in the past have had some major issues about getting back out there with the things that the ups and downs and the issues I've had. I've had a bit of a block about getting back out there because perhaps I don't feel like I'm worthy, or I'm going to attract too much hassle or attention or whatever. And he said, like, ultimately, you are who you are, and people are going to like you for you, and it's the same for him. You know, although Brad has far less haters than I had, he still has his fair share of haters. You know, it's like he said when he put his Chronic Marketer book out a good few years ago, he had people saying, I'm never buying another product from you again, because he put out a book called Chronic Marketer, which, again, that just says more about those people than it does you, and they're not people to worry about. They don't want people. You don't want those types of people following you or being in your presence or on your online presence. So if you find yourself stepping back and being more of a vanilla character without perhaps intentionally being so, I think you're doing the wrong thing. Certainly the older I get, the more I speak my mind. I never intentionally want to hurt anybody or offend anybody in any way, shape or form, but I think the fact that we have the ability we should be able to have the ability to disagree with each other without falling out. And certainly if you're watching this and you're running a business, and in any way, shape or form you're at the head of that business, especially if you're a marketer, you should be being different. And by being different, I mean speaking your own mind. It's like one of my friends, Nigel Reisner, said, who's a speaker, professional speaker, one of the best speakers around. He said, in an audience, when I'm speaking, normally you'll have people that like you or indifferent to you. And with me, because of my backstory and all the shit that I've been through in my life and some of the shit that is self-imposed, I don't have them two characters. I have categories. I have three. I have people that like me for whatever reason. I have people that are indifferent to me, and I have people that don't like me. And I'm all right with that, because as long as I can go to bed at night and sleep relatively easy with everything, I'm all right. And like I said, as long as I've not offended anybody or upset anybody deliberately, then I'm all right with that. And that's a good thing. So yeah, being vanilla is boring. It gets you nowhere. And people should learn to disagree more without falling out and take offense. Keep it real. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon.